Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Here we are to talk about Spider-Man. I'm gonna bail on this bit. I can't sing. Hi, I'm Doug. I'm here representing the illustrious show that is Comics Covered. I'm here with my buddies over from Mashing Buttons, the video game podcast, where they usually probably don't have to put up with this kind of bullshit. But here they are. Yeah, Brian and Matt here to join me for this joint episode between our shows. This harmonious union of our...
Been waiting a long time for this.
Yeah.
And we are here, as my horrible singing at the open here indicated, to talk about the video game Spider-Man.
Spider-Man PS4. We are here.
By the way, I love the game. I hate how it's just called Spider-Man PS4.
Would you prefer?
I mean, it's just Spider-Man, but like...
It's Spider-Man.
Everyone has to...
No, it's Marvel Spider-Man PS4.
Marvel's Insomniac's Spider-Man PS4 featuring Peter Parker.
That's right.
Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. On Mashing Buttons, we like to drink, so we're having Doug join us in a little drink.
Yeah, look, it's the crossover episode. You know, Brian's guested on Comics Covered. We've had Doug on Mashing Buttons, but now this is the true fusion episode.
This is an ultimate team up.
Yeah.
This is a crossover event. Yeah, we this is our podcast's baby. Our podcast got together and they made sweet love, and this is the baby that they made.
Mashing Covered
Comics
Buttons. But every 15 minutes we take a shot, so we'll let you know, Doug, when those 15 minutes are up, and by the end we'll be feeling pretty toasty,
tipsy,
which is interesting. Doing this, we're doing this remotely. Brian and Matt live in Chicago, and I am in the great state of Minnesota here, and so yes, we are drinking together, but also I'm in a room by myself. So that's a fun bit.
Don't let that depress you. We're here with you in spirit, and
yes.
This episode.
What are you guys drinking tonight?
We are drinking Kraken
Black Spice Rum, 94 proof.
The drink of champions.
That's right, and we're drinking it with a little bit of Coca-Cola Cherry.
Yeah,
nice. And then so. Is that so? Kraken is your shot, and then you're drinking that mixed with cherry Coke for your drink?
Exactly.
Yes. What are you drinking, Doug?
I am drinking. I'm not sure if this is a thing. I looked it up on the internet, and there were recipes, so I'm not crazy.
Wait, you got real complicated with your cocktail.
No, not complicated. I opened my cupboard and I looked and I saw, what do I have? I have an alcohol and I have a thing I could mix it with. Let's put those together. I have gin and ginger beer, so it's pretty okay.
You know, I actually yesterday I did a similar thing. I was like, what do I have? I just really want to drink, and I tried tequila and ginger beer, and it was awful. One of the worst things. I think I overdid it with the tequila, but it was terrible.
Yeah, tequila is such a particular taste. I feel like that would be a weird combination with something as strong as tasting as if it's a strong ginger beer.
Right.
But anyways, I've also got because I don't like straight gin, so I have a bottle of chocolate mint whiskey.
Ooh.
For my shot.
Send a bottle over here.
Here, let me
some of that for our next episode. Yeah, let me pass that over.
Pour that directly on the ground in your honor.
Just pour it on the keyboard, and it'll
come through.
Yeah, I'll just turn my keyboard over and dip it into
that sounds so good, because during the past few weeks, me and Brian have had a very unlucky streak of bad shots.
Yeah, we've had a lot that we didn't like.
That are really hard to take down.
Every time I pick a liquor, I try to pick something new or something I have never had before, or something that looks really interesting. And some of those are unheard of for a reason.
Yeah, well, and they're also probably not meant to be taken as a shot.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm pretty sure Kraken's the same, so we'll see.
Speaking of shots, let's do our first one.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Doug, you ready?
Right.
Doug, you ready?
Right, hold on 1 minute. I gotta pour one out.
For your homies?
Pour one out for the homies. All right, here we go.
All right, ready and
clink. I also clinked.
Nice. That's not so bad as a shot compared to some of the other ones you've had recently. That's not that bad.
That's true. Feel it in your nose.
That was the most pleasant shot I've maybe ever had.
Really?
Chocolate mint? You gotta let us. What brand is that?
Ballotin. Ballotin. Ballotin.
Interesting. All right, we'll look it up. Timer has started, so 15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll take another shot. Let's start talking about Spider-Man. I don't want to wait any longer.
We waited long enough for this game, damn it. Like,
I've been waiting for this game for,
about it.
What has it been? Over 2 years since they've announced it, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
At least E3 2 years ago, I think, was when they announced it. And I've been excited for this ever since. I think if anybody's listened to at least 19 out of the 20 episodes that we've already had on Mashing Buttons, they know that I'm excited for this game. So I've been waiting for this for a long time.
What was the original? The original bit of footage they put out there, was that the helicopter thing, or was that later?
No, that was later.
Was that just the first bit of gameplay?
3 years. That was the first gameplay, and then this year, of course, was the demo with the raft. But the first one, it was a trailer that had gameplay in it. Some of it didn't even make it to the final game if you go back and watch. I remember there was a scene that looked really cool of him jumping through a diner. I don't know if you remember that. It was kind of him crashing through and then breaking through a window and swinging out. I always thought that was a really cool scene, but they didn't even put that in the game.
Yeah. It was probably all just CGI cutscene thing that they just made to just announce kind of the basic look and feel of it. But we finally got to play it.
We finally got to play it. Well, we played it over at Comic-Con.
Yeah. We played a demo of it in. Good God, when was that? When did that happen? July.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm losing my mind. We played a demo of that at San Diego Comic-Con. The three of us attended.
It's a 15-minute demo that all three of us beat it, and it was just a little taste of things to come.
Yeah.
And now we played through the whole thing, right?
By the way, we should preface, this is going to be a spoiler cast.
Okay.
Full
spoilers. Did you beat the game, Doug?
I did, yes.
Okay, good.
I mean, we can talk kind of general impressions at first, and then maybe talk specifics about plot and stuff after that.
For sure.
But overall, kind of what was your guys' experience generally with the game? How did you feel about it?
I mean, it was way up there on my radar, way up there as far as favorite games go. One of the best superhero games, probably the best superhero game.
I think it is the best superhero game.
Yeah.
I am still comparing it in my head with Arkham, but I think it's better. I think or maybe quality-wise, I don't know if or they're very similar or very, very close, but I think I just liked this one more.
Yeah.
It's definitely at least, it's in that ballpark. It's, definitely up in that echelon, whether or not you, think it's better than those games or not. But
the only other superhero game that ever came close.
Yeah,
Superman?
for sure.
No Superman.
Superman Returns?
No Superman. Superman, no.
Oh.
Was there a video game for Superman Returns?
There was. I played it and owned it.
Was it bad?
It was bad. But they did some stuff right, and it was open world, and they gave you all of his powers, every single one you could think of, and it was you could break the sound barrier when you flew, and you could run real fast. I mean, they did his powers really well, but the rest of everything around it was terrible. So, I mean,
was there a weird scene where you stalked your girlfriend Lois Lane and watched her through walls?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Staring through the window and shit.
It's real weird.
That was weird.
Man, they can't get Superman right.
No. Well, I like Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
Henry Cavill as an actor is a really good fit for the role. But
he's gone now, though.
Apparently, that's not necessarily true. I was seeing backtracking articles in the latter half of today saying that isn't necessarily apparently Henry Cavill and his agent came out and said that's not true, but I don't know.
Oh, because they're looking at Michael B. Jordan to replace him.
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
So stupid.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows if you'd be good or not, but yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, we're not talking about Superman.
Talking about Spider-Man.
Talking about Spider-Man.
Let's talk about the web swinging.
Yes.
God.
Let's get right into it.
Yeah.
By far, like, that is the absolute, like, that is the prize piece of this game. Like, that is the gem on the hilt of this game. Like, it is by far the best part.
It
like,
is.
It's just like traversing around the city is so fluid and joyous. Like, to just
relaxing,
move
it's
from place to
cathartic.
place.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you feel so in control. Like, you always feel like if you want to get to a specific spot or like land or turn a specific corner, or just a slight way, you feel like so in control, and fast and fluid. And
I find myself like, swinging through like, there's like a big old clump of buildings and I'll swing like right in between two of them. And it's just like fluid and beautiful.
It's the best fucking feeling in the world.
It feels so good.
yeah.
And it starts off like fairly simple. Like you swing, you let go, you swing again. But there's like a little bit of skill in like when you jump off the end, or when you start your swing. But like as you layer on, I mean, just like with, it's the same thing with the combat, but like as you layer on the different mechanics in the skill tree and everything, it just becomes like so fucking fun to like mix it up. And you rarely need to unless you're like in a hurry or something.
Yeah.
But like it just feels so fucking good to like nail one of those like boost jumps off of a roof and like string together a bunch of chains of those. And like you can just move around in such a dynamic, awesome way in this game.
And there's like everything that you think would slow you down, like fire escapes or like some like a hollow pipe or something. You just like dive right through and like just like go. I mean, everything keeps you moving no matter what. They thought of everything. And I love going up real high and like using like L3 to dive down real fast.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the combat is just as, you feel so like you could like improvise what you do, but you're like so in control and you know exactly like how, like what enemies to hit a certain way. And like eventually you get it all right. And like, you know, absolutely everything. And
Everything, you know what's happening.
And it goes so fluid.
I think for a superhero game, they layer just enough kind of like new kind of, like twists and turns in the combat at you. And they know when to stop to let you kind of like get the hang of it and really master it. And to the point where like by the end of the game, you like really feel like in every encounter, you're like, for the most part, like it's so satisfying to like maximize your efficiency and like you make the most of all the different gadgets and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're all so fun. Like I don't
love
know
those gadgets.
Yeah, like there's like I don't know that there was one that I wasn't using at least once in every like extended combat encounter.
There's one gadget I never got, and I beat the game, and I've been playing it since, and I still don't have the gadget. I just never got it.
One, like with that one.
Which one was? It's like the gravity stasis one.
That one's great.
Oh, that one's so
really
fun.
Yeah. Oh, really? I never got it. I still don't have it. I'm like,
I mean, like you can still unlock it. There's DLC and stuff coming.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
and New Game Plus, which was announced.
Did you get the idea of what that one does?
Yeah, you kind of like, it's like a grenade that you throw on the ground, everybody launches up in the air and kind of stays there for a while.
Yeah.
Right?
So it basically allows you to chain together a bunch of aerial combat, and then it's super fun. And it just is really fucking goofy looking.
Yeah, I don't know why I never got it. But it never, like, I guess, I wanted to try absolutely everything, but there was just, like, that was the one gadget I was like, nah. I mean, yeah, I don't know why. And so I, like, never really went for it. I was more, like, interested in getting all the suits and getting all the suit powers. No, so I spent all my tokens on that. It's really
useful, especially because, at certain points, although, like, once you beat the game, I feel like most enemy groups are pretty easy to take down.
Yeah.
But, like, sort of, like, maybe 3/4 of the way, you're fighting like sort of the advanced characters.
Like Sable's group? They're no jokes sometimes.
They are not. Those hover guys are fucking...
I know, they're so annoying.
When you first encounter them, even later, like even at the end of the game, when I've like been doing some of the side stuff, even after finishing the story of the game, and just like those Sable compounds, like those fucking like hover guys are still a bitch.
I know.
They're like
I know.
the one enemy in the game that kind of really throws me for a loop even after.
They throw that like line of grenades down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit fucks me up.
Yeah, so those guys fuck me up, and the demon with the sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any of the
Dudes,
dudes
like,
with
are no joke.
any of the dude or like the guys with just the like
the
energy
whips?
whips.
Yeah,
yeah,
fucking
they're
hate
no
that.
joke.
So you can't go in the air or something. I
Yeah.
always have to take those guys out first.
Yeah, you gotta like web them up somehow, or like, or that's another reason why like that like anti-grav one is very useful. Like it's one of those ones that just kind of breaks. The shit.
Oh yeah,
And
that would
it knocks down like all the whether it's the super big dudes, the guys with the swords, it puts them all up.
Oh, really? Even the big guys?
Yeah, the big
because those guys can get on my nerves too. Because if they get you with that punch and you like try to get out of there, but they like they can like keep wailing on you.
Yeah,
and you're like,
they can.
God.
They're the one enemy. Them and maybe like the whip guys are like the one enemy who like you can dodge and they can still fucking hit you. Like there's like they have so much reach.
Yeah,
it's tough. Yeah, if enough of those brute guys like team up on you, it can still be kind of tough.
Yeah.
Like I think there's just enough challenge in the combat of this game to like make you feel powerful, but also like make you have to mix it up and
you
like
gotta be
think on your
smart.
feet.
You gotta play smart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love being on a roof and fighting a bunch of dudes and like using like the force push. Like,
Yeah.
Do you ever use that?
Not really.
It's like
Yeah,
from the gadgets,
that was the
like,
last
Oh
one.
yeah, that was the last one I got.
That was the last one I unlocked, and it's fun. Yeah, it feels.
It is fun.
You feel like a Jedi or whatever.
Yeah, I kept finding myself like trying it against bosses, and it doesn't work against bosses. So then I would forget.
Yeah, that was
to
one
use
thing
it
that I
against
felt
the
a little bit disappointed by was the lack of kind of usefulness of the gadgets in the boss encounters. Like
the web stuff. The webbing was fairly useful against.
Yeah, the webbing, like the basic webbing and like the web-based gadgets, like the ones where you would like the web bombs or the
love those web trip mines.
Yeah, the trip mines.
those are great.
My favorite part of them. I use them. I think I only used it as an actual trip mine once. I use them more so to if you throw them on a dude, they'll run around for a minute. And then as soon as the like laser on it lines up with a wall, it'll zip them to the wall. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I use that.
I love
too.
It does it with other enemies too. If
they'll
they'll
hit each other.
They'll get sucked into each other.
Oh, I've never seen that. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
So how'd you feel about the bosses in this game?
Me? How did I feel?
Yeah,
I thought like they're who. I can't tell if you're looking at.
I'm looking at you, Doug.
You're looking at me through the microphone.
Right
looking right at me. Yeah, the bosses are so cinematic and so cool. I do wish that they had been a little less repetitive. I think that I also wish they had been spread out a bit more throughout the game. However, I do think that the twist of I think this is gonna naturally move us into kind of more spoiler territory here. But what they do with once the actual like bunch of boss fights starts really coming at you, it all happens in one big story chunk. Like the way in which they put two members of the Sinister Six in a boss fight against you does kind of help to fight that repetitiveness in a really cool way that helped you. You had to kind of be, even though you were doing the same thing over and over again, you had to kind of juggle between who am I focusing on at a given moment, one or the other, Electro or Vulture or Rhino or Scorpion. I thought that was cool.
I like how they paired off the two that were like in the air together and the two that were on the ground. So it kind of made those two feel like two separate fights.
Yes.
And they were a little like, you gotta web them and then you gotta get close and do like, it's like always pretty similar, but yeah, I love how they paired them off. I really liked, Mr. Negative's fight with like the giant demon.
That was my favorite fight in the game.
Really?
That was pretty visually cool. Yeah. I like that one.
I whooped his ass.
Oh, really?
So bad. It was pretty funny. Yeah. And I was just like thinking the whole time, like, Spider-Man has commentary in a lot of his fights, and as he's fighting Mr. Negative, he's like, "You can fight it! Come on, you can fight it, man! Like, well, I can help you!" And I'm just beating the shit out of him as I'm saying it, so funny.
Yeah. Did you get this is a tangent a little bit from what we're talking about. Did you guys unlock the like cell shaded cartoon costume at all?
Yeah.
So the power on it is just like more quips or like quips in battle.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. Yeah. I got all the suits except for there's one I'm still trying to get naked Spider-Man, which is like you have to do absolutely everything.
Yeah, that's 100% the game.
And then there's the ESU one, which I care less about, but I just want to get into.
Which one is the ESU?
That's like you have to get all the. It's like the secret costume. Oh, that's the timer.
Yeah, I don't even know about that one. Is that
secret, like a? It's basically like a Peter Parker costume.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. And he's still wearing a Spider-Man mask, but he's wearing like his like ESU shirt and like jeans or whatever. And you need to get all the secret photo ops. So there's photo ops that they put on the map, and then there's like random ones, like if you take a picture of the Statue of Liberty or something like that, that's like not on the map.
How many are they?
50.
Jesus.
Yeah. So like it's basically something like I'm going to go online to like a wiki and like go around each one.
Yeah. I mean, eventually I'm going to have to do that, but there's an ability that you unlock that allows you to see them on the mini-map.
That's right. There is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or not on the mini-map, or like when you get close, it like pings or something.
It's on. You see it on the mini-map. It like if you swing past, I have that ability unlocked. If you swing past it, you don't see it on like the world map, but like if you happen to swing past it, it'll show it to you.
Oh, that helps
on the map, which is helpful. I'm not like at a certain point. I know I'm going to hit a point where I'm just like swinging around trying to find it, and I'll just look it up on a wiki or whatever. But like it is helpful. It is like fun to like as I'm randomly swinging around, being like, oh, a secret photo op, whatever. So I recommend equipping that one. It's helpful, at least just to give you another thing to do.
All right, so let's do our next shot.
Oh boy, okay.
Shot number 2.
You ready, Doug?
I am ready.
All right, cheers.
So the story in the game is, other than the traversal, fantastic. Probably my favorite part. Like,
it was great.
It was really good.
I say this like I mean this seriously. Like, it is, I think, astonishingly well developed for a superhero game. Like, it's so like well thought out, and the relationships specifically are so subtle in a way that you rarely see in superhero fiction in general. Yeah,
I was watching an interview with Brian Intihar. He's like one of the creative directors of the game, and he was saying like they had so many more villains they wanted to put in. There was like a shit ton of other stuff that they wanted to put in, but he was like, it was just like, this is Marvel's, and Marvel, because, you know, they work so closely with Marvel and Sony. This was Marvel's, and Marvel came forward and was like, this is our Iron Man. This is going to be the first in this video game MCU.
Okay. Ooh, that's awesome.
So it needs to be like fantastic.
Yeah.
So like they went for quality over over anything else. Quality over quantity.
They did a great job too, man.
Like there are moments when I wish that there had been more side villains or whatever in the game, but like the main core storyline of this game and like Peter Parker and his relationships to those characters is so fucking well done. I like could hardly believe it. Like I was expecting like a fun superhero story, and it like specifically like the stuff with him and Mary Jane, and the stuff with him and Miles. I mean, I was about to name specific ones, and then I realized I'm about to name all the relationships in the game, because like the stuff with Otto and his
everyone was so good.
Yeah, everything was great. That scene where he's like swinging around, he's like texting Mary Jane. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, that is such a real conversation that people have.
Yeah. And like the amount of restraint they showed in the Otto Octavius stuff, the spoilers again, Dr. Octopus stuff. I mean, if you don't know that, like, do you know anything about Spider-Man? But like, it was really funny. I was apparently they were like emailing people pre-release, like being like, you can't talk about Otto Octavius being Dr. Octopus. Like, apparently they like considered that like a spoiler. Like, okay. Anyway,
honestly, but honestly though, the second that you see him in the game, this is Dr. Otto Octavius, and if you're playing Spider-Man, chances are you most likely know who that is.
He's also got like I don't know if this is the very first time you see him, but like he's kind of like strapped in a way where like
that is the first time you see him.
Okay, like, you see like
they do a fake out.
Wires. Yeah.
He already looks like Dr. Octopus.
They do a fake out there where they're trying to make you think. I mean, it's he's in the accident. They're trying to make you think that is going to be him turning into Dr. Octopus, and then they pull that left turn on you. It doesn't happen, and then they spend the entire fucking game up until like the last like climactic few missions or whatever, developing Otto Octavius into this like really deep character that like you really feel horrible when he eventually makes that villain turn in a way that you wouldn't have.
He has that moment where he's talking to Peter on the side of the building or whatever on top of the Avengers Tower, I think is where they fight. Or no, it was Oscorp.
Oscorp.
And he's like, he knew he was Spider-Man the whole time.
Yes.
And he's like developing all these Sinister Six like suits and weapons and everything the entire time. He knew his lab assistant was Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and it's that's insane.
The thing. It's like they make you think that like he's like this great person, and he was maybe at one point. But then once you meet the Sinister Six, and then you find Dr. Octopus's lab, you know, his little hideout, and he's got all the different suits and everything, and you're like, this dude's been working on this shit for a long time. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but at one point there's like, you can see on the wall, there's like newspaper clippings of each of the Sinister Six. Like, like Scorpion did this, Rhino did that. And like this dude's been studying up on them.
Yeah.
Like it's so, I'm getting chills. Look at that. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
I mean,
so cool.
But I think it all has to, but like it all comes down to like the fact that I think what they were going for is like Otto Octavius is a good person, but like this like neural implant that he was fucking with, like, actually like altered his brain in a way that like should feel like a little bit of a cop out on his character, but they use it to such great dramatic effect. Like Peter calls MJ
that's
at
what
one
they did
point.
in Spider-Man too.
Yeah. I mean,
here's
like,
a question, guys. Do you think that Otto was working with the Six like before the implant?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so either.
Okay.
I think the implication is that when he started messing with that, it slowly started bringing those parts of him out.
Right.
That it was almost like a split personality. I don't think that's what it was specifically intended to be, but like it would like bring more and more of that kind of part of his personality out.
And there's a good portion of the game where you stop going to the lab. And he's like, oh, I should check on Otto or whatever. And then Otto would call once in a while or leave a message. And he'd be like,
and he would be saying more things.
You don't see him for a while. So he's like off like doing that stuff.
Okay.
Yep. And I was weirdly into doing the science, like the little
puzzles,
side puzzle things, which like, I don't know. I feel like that should have been something that like was annoying to me, but I actually kind of enjoyed them as like a puzzle.
I liked them
game
too.
Thing. Yeah,
they didn't overdo it, and
no.
if you want to keep doing it, they give you the option. But
I would stop back every once in a while, even when there wasn't a side mission or a main mission at the lab to continue doing those. And they would slowly pepper in like stuff of like he would like stuff on the boards would change, and it was slowly evolved. Where you would find something new each time you would go there. You'd be like, what is this weird like device you're working on over here? And he's like, oh, it's a military contract or whatever. I don't know. And then later you would find out like, oh shit, that was totally like a piece of Rhino's armor or whatever. Or like, or like the drawings on the drawings on the whiteboard in Otto's office, like slowly turn more and more into being about the octopus arms. It's really cool. And it's like totally kind of optional stuff that you don't necessarily have to take in unless you're like running around looking at literally everything in the lab.
I think I missed that stuff.
A thing that I'm obsessive about in video games is making sure I see every little bit of story dialogue. But
I love the idea that we as Spider-Man basically built Otto's suit.
Yeah.
You know,
A little bit.
He really
Took part
got a
in
huge
making
part,
one of his
huge
arch
part of it.
enemies.
I think it's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And also, it kind of fucked up. They didn't really touch on it, but in a way, it's Peter's fault that, okay, big spoiler here. It's Peter's fault that Aunt May dies at the end.
A little bit.
Because he's the one who pushed Otto into, continuing with the research and everything.
She died from Devil's Breath, though, didn't she?
But he unleashed Devil's Breath.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he did.
Like, if you think about it, if you kind of, like, trace it all back, like, it does kind of, like, I mean,
that was
like,
so sad.
at the end of the day, like,
I was choking
up. At the end of the day, like, not really that much blame can be placed on him because he thought he was doing the right thing the whole way through. But, like, you can totally, like, I agree with you that, like, you totally can see how Peter Parker as a character would look at that and be like, holy shit, I caused all of this.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like, you really feel that for him.
Yeah. And she knew he was Spider-Man. Yeah. I thought that was sweet.
It was.
Brian, it's so rare that you get cracked up.
I know. I choked up a little bit at that part. It was really sad.
Yeah. And that works so well because, I mean, I think a lot of this a lot of it's the writing. Also, a lot of it is, did they do motion capture for this game? Like, they had to.
Yeah, they had to.
Like, because it read like that. Like,
perfect.
Like, it felt like performance. Like, it felt like these were actors playing these characters. And the performances were really good for a video game.
Yeah.
Like, all the characters felt exactly right. They never felt cheesy. I think the writing went a long way in helping with that. Like, I can't say enough good about that.
Right. Two of the actors I've seen in TV and stuff before. Mr. Negative? I've definitely seen him in something.
I don't know where. I can't remember where he's from.
But
does he look like his character?
Yeah.
I think he does, yeah.
I've got the IMDb page up right now.
Okay. The guy who plays Norman Osborn, you can kind of see his face. He's been in things before. And the other guy, Dr. Martin, is that who it was? Martin. He's like the main doctor that you kind of save throughout the game, and at the end, he's the one who distributes the.
Mr. Negative does. They at least use him as like a base for the character model. Okay, he looks very similar.
What's that? What's he been in?
Yeah, has he been?
Stephen O. Young. He was in Destiny 2. He was in the new Independence Day. I don't see anything.
That is
a lot of
such
TV.
A forgettable movie.
A lot of like single episodes of TV, as far as I can tell. But he was really good. Like in the ways in which they kind of like played up the like this is always such a trope of Spider-Man that like all of his villains are people who have these close ties to Peter Parker and like are people who mean something to him, and they really do a good job of like building up like what he means in his life, like before they make him make that villain turn, and even afterwards, like kind of like continue to make you feel horrible that this like really good man like turned bad.
Yeah.
Also,
go on.
Sorry. I was just gonna say like Norman Osborn in this game looks.
I was literally about how do we feel about Norman Osborn? That's what I was going to say.
Fucking ridiculous, man. His hair looks so stupid.
Oh, I love it. I love the version of Norman Osborn in this game.
He looks so goofy to me, man.
I think
he looks real. You know what I'm saying?
I think the Norman Osborn. I love it, and I think the Norman Osborn in this game feels like the closest version of a like comics accurate. I mean, like whatever, like being actually accurate to the comics, like. Say what you will about it, like it doesn't necessarily mean quality, but like I think this is the closest we will ever get to a comics accurate version of Norman Osborn.
Guys, I miss the striped hair.
I know. I was going to say he does
striped hair.
You know the black and red deal.
What is it?
Is
he have cornrows?
He has black hair.
That's what it looks like.
Which is so confusing. Lovely red streaks,
Yeah, I mean, he's still got the red hair. But no, I liked him, how he looked a lot. I was disappointed we didn't get a Goblin. But at the same time, there were a lot of hints towards Goblin.
There were.
Definitely setting up for a sequel.
Can we, while we're on the way to this, can we just go ahead and talk about what I thought was going to be a Goblin? But it turns out to be Venom?
Venom.
Yeah.
Is that what we
Which is
all agree on?
looking at Harry Osborn's going to be Venom.
Harry Osborn is Venom.
Yes.
I'm okay with it.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I think that's really, like, and it's all in the way in which they kind of upset expectations. They definitely lead you very subtly to thinking, like, is Harry Osborn going to be the Goblin in this?
Yeah,
like, that he's undergoing experiments or whatever, and he's and he's in that fucking case in Osborn's lab that whole time, and they finally reveal it, and no,
Wait, did you know that? Did you guess that?
I definitely guessed that.
I did not.
I didn't guess that either.
I thought it was like Goblin suit or something.
Yeah.
Well, because like you're like going around the Osborn's house, you're like learning all this stuff about Harry's illness and like, oh, he quote went away for treatment, and he says it's in this weird cagey way in all the audio. You hear him say it in a way, and then you go into the lab and there's this secret thing that he like looks at, like that looks like a big tank, and I'm like, oh, Harry's in there. But anyways, I think it's a really cool left turn. I think it's a cool way to like kind of further tie Venom into like the close family tie again. That Spider-Man.
Did you guys see there was a? Oh, go ahead, Dick.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, there's at one point there. Well, I think it's when you get one of the backpacks. You get it's like a card from when Peter left the Daily Bugle. It's a signed card of a bunch of people who work there. And one of them is Eddie Brock. And it says, what does it say? It was great working with you, Eddie Brock. And I was just like, I was like, whoa, wait, that's like
he hates him.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy. Like, how are they going to make that change? Because I knew that, eventually they're going to bring Venom in.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was going to say is that in that same interview with Brian Intihar, he was saying he was like, off the cuff, he was like, I know a lot of people were expecting a lot of costumes we haven't put in the game yet. We're going to put a lot of them in DLC. We have a lot of stuff coming up. And he's like, a lot of people were looking for the black suit, but there's a reason why we didn't put the black suit in the game.
Yeah.
And it's obviously because the next game, like he's going to get the black suit. And they don't want to put that. They don't want to show their version of the black suit yet. You know what I mean? Right. So it's definitely next game. Yeah.
Yeah, or at the very least, they're just withholding on Venom content in general, like whether or not the Black Suit Spider-Man will definitely be involved in the next game in some form. But I'm very excited. I was kind of disappointed there wasn't a black suit as an alternate suit, but it totally makes sense, and I think it'll be satisfying once we finally get that review.
Yeah, I would rather have a whole game surrounded around it than just have it as a suit you could play as now.
Right.
How do we feel about Miles?
I love the character, man.
I love the character. I wish they had done... I mean, I guess the setup they do with him at the end definitely justifies him being in there. But until that point, he feels a little bit shoehorned in. Like I wish
actually they weren't going to have Miles in the game.
Really?
Yeah. That when they started doing that scene at like the courthouse or like when everything like blows up, and then he has like his father died, his origin and everything. That they decided to put him in at that point. He wasn't even going to be in the game.
That's the bit of the story that really makes him make sense in the story. Like his relationship to his dad and how that's all wonderfully done. I do wish they had done a little bit more with him other than the one of the gripes I have with the game is the stealth missions.
Yeah, dude, me too. I agree.
I agree. I love the game. I'm conflicted about it because I really do love the like character depth and like connection that those missions like kind of give you with those two characters, Miles and MJ. But like also, I found myself going into each one of those missions going like, oh god, another stealth mission.
I didn't mind it. I thought it helped the pacing.
Well, and Brian and I talked about this the other day, but like, I feel like, we have Spider-Man's version of the game. Obviously, like he can swing. He's the best. When you play as him, you feel great. Then you got MJ, a little more vulnerable, but she's got the taser. She can do damage, and she's like doing her own thing. But Miles, if that wasn't stealth,
that's a shot.
That's a shot. That's a 3-pointer. But like, I wish that Miles gameplay was something different than stealth. Because MJ already had that.
Yeah.
If we had the option to play as Miles, make it something else. You know?
Like, I almost feel like it would have been cool if they had given you the spider bite for him earlier in the game, and he was like slowly learning what those powers were in those missions.
I think that's going to be the next, because I wondered that too at one point, if there was going to be some missions where you were like racing Miles through the city, like doing like web swinging.
I don't think I wanted like full on Spider-Man Miles, at least in this game yet, because this was a game about Peter. But I think it would have really helped those missions if there was a little bit more of a mechanical hook to them. You know, that's really all I'm.
He could hack.
Thinking.
No, but I mean, well, first let's do this shot.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite missions of the game, and this is not my very favorite, but hold on.
Are you doing your shot, Doug?
Yes.
But I actually really liked the mission with MJ when you're in Grand Central Station.
Yes, that's the one that really makes those missions work.
Oh yeah, no, that was a good one.
And then you like
Spider-Man is there,
Spider-Man's on the ceiling and he's like, he's in the shadows and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. And then you could like click on enemies and like have them like web them up to the ceiling and stuff. I really liked that.
I'll go a real quick thing that bothered me about that part. I don't know if you guys ever, as MJ, when Spider-Man grabs somebody, did you like follow him? Did you like keep looking at him?
Yeah.
And he like goes up to the ceiling. Yeah, he goes up to the ceiling and then just disappears.
He disappeared?
He
like pops? Like pops out of existence?
I thought he like webbed them to the ceiling.
No, he does. He comes down, grabs them, pulls them up, webs them to the ceiling.
Yeah.
He doesn't like crawl away or anything. He just sits there for a minute. Then he just disappears. It's like, oh, come on, dude.
They probably assumed you would have looked away by that point.
Yeah. Or at least just have him like sitting there until you look
Exactly.
Yeah, like just have him sit there. Weird.
But that was the cool part too. Just as when you were MJ and you were before you even start hiding or the demons come in or whatever, you like go around to all the Osborn the screens and like learn about what they're like doing. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I tended to like the bits of all of those missions before the stealth stuff. Because I was like, oh yeah, I'll be MJ running around this museum, like doing investigative work and taking pictures of shit. I thought that was a cool break from kind of the high action stuff of the main story, but the rest of the main story. But yeah, just the stealth stuff I found to be kind of finicky and tedious in a way. But
it was, but it was very easy. It wasn't. I never had any trouble with the stealth. Yeah, I didn't think it was very hard.
I'm probably just worse at games than you guys, but I died a lot.
Did you?
Yeah.
No, the Rhino part was
I thought was really cool.
Crushed like 3 times, but
yeah, I died a number of times during that.
I thought that was really neat.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah.
I thought the idea was cool, but like having played as Spider-Man for so long in the game, I'm just like, when can I get back to Spider-Man?
Yes,
so I can
exactly.
whoop Rhino's ass, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's cool to see that Miles is going to be Spider-Man. We got an origin story in a different way than we were expecting.
Mm-hmm. And we got his powers.
I thought they were...
Now Peter knows, or they both know that...
Did he not know Peter was Spider-Man?
I don't think so.
No, that was him finding out.
He didn't. I wish he would have been a little more surprised.
Yeah.
Because this dude is like his idol and shit.
Yeah.
I thought they were totally going to kill Peter Parker at the end. Otto said something about like making the ultimate sacrifice or something, and after them hinting so much that Miles was going to get spider powers, I was like, oh shit, are they going to kill him off in the first game? But they didn't.
I hope they don't. I mean, because this could potentially mean. I don't think they'll.
I don't think they will either. I think the next game is going to be like him and Miles are going to be like learning and doing stuff.
I do think the fact that they both are existing simultaneously does mean that they probably are going to transition to just Miles as Spider-Man. I don't think that it's necessarily going to happen in the next game, but like somewhere down the line, I think that is probably a thing that is going to happen. You know. But, I don't know.
Do we think that because we will see a Miles Spider-Man eventually? Do we think that he'll get like a fresh new sort of take on his costume?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll get that with the black suit too. I think that'll be different.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. I want to go back to Venom. Here's the thing, because like Brian, like Doug, I don't know if you know, but Brian knows that I don't usually like Venom that much.
Why?
I'm just not a fan of him. I'm
generally not
Carnage.
Huge.
Yeah, I think Carnage is awesome. But Venom is just, whatever. But I'm so much more on board with Venom.
it being
now that's going to be Harry Osborn.
Yeah.
I'm so much more on board.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot more on board with Venom. There's been a recent comic
With the
series that
movie?
I've been reading. No, that fucking movie looks ridiculous. Fuck. The fucking turd joke in that last trailer. God damn it. Also, decide how you want to say symbiote because
Symbiote.
But anyway, there's been a recent comic series that has like I've liked the concept of Venom, but I've never really gotten into him as a.
Are you talking about the Venom comic that's out now?
Yes. That
I read the first one. I liked
it.
it.
Really good. Yeah. You were on the
Eddie
show when we talked about that.
Yeah, that's why
issue.
I read it. Yeah, and I wanted to read more of them. I read everything on Marvel Unlimited, and it takes so long for them to come on that.
That'll come to it eventually, and it's really good. And anything by Donny Cates, that writer, is really, really good. Anyways, we were talking. Matt, you were saying you aren't normally huge on Venom.
Yeah, no, I liked Venom when I was a kid, but like growing up, I've just kind of, and this is going to be something else. Brian, I don't know if you know. No, you both know, but I don't like Wolverine either. Growing up, I've kind of put Venom into the same category as Wolverine. I don't hate him, but I'm just not that interested anymore. I don't know why. I think Wolverine is overrated. That's why I think too many people.
I don't think that.
Oh yeah, because you're all upon Wolverine's nuts, all upon him. But Venom, I don't know.
His adamantium boner.
What?
I'm going to be on his. Well, he said I was up on his nuts.
So you would prefer to be on his adamantium boner?
Unbreakable.
Jesus Christ.
His unbreakable adamantium boner.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just like Venom. I'm more intrigued by the offshoots of Venom, whether it's Carnage himself or what's the Venom soldier guy who's Flash Thompson? What's his name?
Just like
Agent
Agent
Venom?
Venom, Flash Thompson.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Venom still.
I like an anti-Venom. I like that.
I'm actually. I just read the comic right now. Well, like I said, I've been reading that brand new Day run.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw the origin of Anti-Venom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who is Anti-Venom?
It's Eddie Brock.
Oh, it's Eddie Brock. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a weird mixture of like Eddie Brock and like Mr. Negative. Kind of gives him like an anti-Venom. It is. It's very, because Eddie Brock has cancer in that run, and Mr. Negative cures him of cancer, but then he like kind of gets combined with like the Matt Gargan Venom that's going on at the moment, and then he becomes anti-Venom. Yeah, it's very.
So basically, he gets his Venom. Was he Venom already?
Yeah, he was Venom in the past.
So he gets it back from Matt Gargan.
Yeah,
who's Scorpion. If you don't know that, that wasn't to you guys. That was to the audience. And then he gets, but it's sort of infused with Mr. Negative powers.
Yeah.
So is Eddie Brock a bad guy as Anti-Venom?
No,
he's not.
And it's kind of cool. He like he's like all about like healing because he could heal like with that. And, but he like when he tries to heal Spider-Man, and that like basically takes the powers out of his blood. Like so he like can like remove. So like whenever he does it to a certain degree where like Spider-Man like gets away, but like whenever Anti-Venom is close to Spider-Man, it like negates his powers.
It just automatically
takes away his powers.
Heals him.
Yeah. It's pretpretty interesting. I'm really enjoying this run. I'm reading.
Pissed.
Brian, is
Spider-Man
that...
and I got my powers taken away. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm reading a bunch of modern Spider-Man stuff too currently. And is the stuff you're reading, is that Dan Slott's run on Spider-Man?
I'm starting with Dan Slott's like beginning and going through everything.
That is the beginning of his run?
He started with that Brand New Day, and he's got like Mr.
Big
Negative
Time
and like, all that stuff.
Is the one after that. I think I need to go back to that because I, for some reason, thought that this big volume I bought called Big Time, there's like 3 volumes of it, and I assumed because of that it was like that was his run. And I've been reading it. I'm like 6-7 issues in or something, and I'm starting to wonder, like I think I missed some stuff from his run, so I think I have to go back and read specifically the volume you're talking about right now. But I'm enjoying that stuff.
No, it's great. It's kind of cool because like part of it has crap. what's her name? She was in the game Screwball. Do you remember Screwball? She was like a side quest.
Yes.
And I had never heard of this character, and I was like, oh, like, like this must be a character they made up for the game or whatever. And I'm reading this run now, and she's in it kind of a lot.
So have you done all the side quests? I've done all the side quests.
Yeah, I have also done all the side quests.
Do you get a lot of different? I know you get Tombstone in one. You get a lot of different characters in the other.
Those are kind of it.
That's
the Shocker one is the main quest.
Yeah, I know Taskmaster.
Shocker one's a main quest, right?
Shocker was a main quest.
Okay. So yeah, you get Tombstone, you get Screwball, and Taskmaster is like one of the like side content ones. You'd never see Black Cat, just so you don't get your hopes up.
I did that one. I did that. And I've done quite a few of the Taskmaster things. I thought it was really cool when like you're just randomly doing it, and then out of nowhere that fucking rope just hits you, and I'm like, it happened to me. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Have you encountered him more than once?
Yeah, I've only encountered him once so far.
You encountered him twice. The second time you beat him.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Because I'm finishing those missions up, and I encountered him the once, and I have like 3 more to at least get a medal in. And do you have to finish all of them, or do you like? Is it just like once you get a certain amount in cumulative medals, or?
I think it's all of them. I think after all of them, you see them.
So I'm close
that
anyways.
You need to get the highest medal in all of them to get an achievement?
I don't know.
Or a trophy.
I'm sure you get something, because that would be like truly 100% in the game.
Yeah,
that's tough.
It is tough. Yeah, that's not easy to do.
Some of those fucking things, I don't know how you, like, some of those stealth missions, like the stealth challenges, like, I'm getting, like, silvers and being like, how the fuck do you go faster in that?
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
Like,
I know.
I don't even know. Like, I can get how you can optimize your route in, like, one of the, like, drone challenges or whatever, or be faster in the combat challenges or whatever. But, like, some of those stealth ones, it's like, I can only zip around and, like, web people up so quickly. You know? Anyways. They're all fun though. I'm not usually huge on like side challenge stuff like that in games, but like every time I try one of those, I'd be like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. This is like a fun excuse for me to engage with the mechanics of the game.
It's like once you beat the game, there's so much extra shit you can do, and it's all so much fun.
Yes.
And then there's New Game Plus that's coming out.
When does that come out? Is there really
they said they're close to being done with it. I'm sure it won't be very long. I mean, it didn't take long for God of War to come out with one. But I mean, like, I started the game over again after I was done. That same weekend after I beat it, I was like, I just want to play it again. And I started it over. And to be honest, it's kind of rough starting it over right after you beat it. Just because
you got all those moves.
Yeah, you got to go back and do, and then they start teaching you how to do side quests and like all the challengey stuff again. And I'm just like, I just want to like, run through it with the costumes and all the powers I already have. So like I kind of stopped, and I'm just waiting for this. Plus.
So like I don't know about you guys, but at least with me, when I first started the game, it's kind of tough.
Yeah,
you know, Kingpin's fight, being able to dodge all those dudes. I died a couple of times. Now that you play the game and you know things, is it?
I'm sure you'd be
easier
much
for you
better.
To get through?
Yeah.
You're better, but you don't.
You don't have.
You almost have to adapt again to not having what you're used to having.
Right.
So, like, to be able to like jump in the air and web someone to you in the air, I use that all the time, and you don't have that in the beginning of the game. So it's going back and doing that fight. Like, it almost was like a learning curve again. I was like, I don't remember how to do this without certain moves I have.
Yeah.
But it is easier. Of course, it's easier. Yeah.
And real quick, I just want to call out the fact, Doug and Mashing Buttons listeners, hopefully new listeners.
No, you don't have to call this out. You don't have to do that.
Brian,
in Spider-Man,
Brian is in charge of the timer today.
Generally,
he forgot it.
I forgot the timer.
He's always giving me shit about it.
I give him that shit all the time. I put it forward, so it should. We should be up to date.
We'll see.
On it. But it's.
I have a question. So, Brian, you said you have unlocked all but one of the costumes?
All but two. The secret one and the naked one.
Okay. What is your guys' favorite? Matt, have you unlocked a bunch of them? Or
yeah, I mean, I've got like 2 or 3 left to get, but I know what they are.
I've got a bunch more of those because I think I prioritize the gadgets a bit more than that. But
Okay.
But like, what of the ones you've seen? Like, what is your favorite ridiculous costume in the game? Because there are some fucking bonkers ones that I've never seen before.
I have 3 favorites. One of them is the Fear Itself one.
Okay,
that's like the blue one with like the weird arm. Like
it's
things.
like almost like the negative one, but like with like some blue stuff, and he's got these like pincers on his arms.
Yeah, those big ass gauntlet things on his arm.
Yeah.
I also like the power for that one. It just makes you super strong.
Okay.
I like that one. I love Spirit Spider-Man or whatever, the Ghost Rider one.
The Ghost Rider one? Yeah.
I love Ghost Rider. And the Ghost Rider Spider-Man combo. Fuck yes. Is that in a comic somewhere?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
It just looks so fucking ridiculous. That's definitely one of my favorites. Like, I don't think that totally not on merits of like, I think that's a good looking costume or anything. I just think it's so fucking bonkers that they put like a Ghost Rider mashup of Spider-Man in the game. I swung around for that
it's also like, you get it like not early, but like it's not, I figure that would be like one of the last suits that you get, but you get it like
you can get it pretty early.
Yeah,
not too early,
right? And then I like one of the Mark
the armor
2
ones
or 3. It's like one of the chunky armor one that I really like. And then honorable mention to the Doc Ock.
I was gonna say
that one's really good.
Really cool.
I loved how they integrated that in the story.
Yeah, me too.
Yes.
It was a cool moment to see him like in that new armor.
Yeah, man.
Cool, even though like I wish there was something about the suit that made sense why he needed it.
Yeah. They didn't really explain
besides
why.
The fact that it's just armor and it's tougher, like there was something like it's kind of like looks like his like Octopus's arms, like it's like the same tech. Yeah. Which is
like
cool,
the glowing yellow and everything, yeah.
But besides that, like it wasn't really anything. There was no suit power that he needed.
Yeah, if he had been able to like stretch any of his limbs out or something, I don't know.
Or even like the armor itself, because like Doc Ock like stabs Spider-Man when he's wearing his regular suit at one point, and like you could maybe think that the armor is going to protect him from that, but no, he gets stabbed again when he's wearing that armor. So it's like it didn't really do much. So. They just wanted that fresh new costume at the end.
I really liked the costume, the one where he's in like that red pea coat. Do you see that? I love that one. His like lethal protector one. It's one of the last ones on the list.
That's the one you need like 20 crime tokens for, and nothing else, right?
That took me a while.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
What does that one do?
It gives you a power. So like when nobody can block your attacks, basically. You can just
so even like the dudes with those batons, you can just
keep punching
guys with shields. Oh, that's cool.
You just punch through everyone.
Right,
yeah, that one was cool. I really love playing with like just the Homecoming one. There's something about playing with like the MCU's Homecoming suit that I really like.
Yeah.
And I really like his stealth suit. It's like the black one. It's like really sleek.
Yes.
It has the green.
That one I really like because I'm reading part of Dan Slott's run, and they just introduced that suit in his run.
Cool.
It's like listed. It's like listed in the game as like it's like stealth suit parentheses big time, and so that's the volume I'm reading right now. It's big time,
and
so
cool.
it's a stealth suit that he just made in the story, and it's really cool. Yeah, it basically makes him invisible.
I just like the look of it, and it glows at night and everything. Yeah.
Have you guys tried all the suits yet?
Yep,
I have not. I've
tried them. Like what? Like tried all the ones that you have.
Yeah, like put them on and like maybe got in a fight or two with them. Just to test
I haven't tried all of the ones I've unlocked. Some of them I was under a weird misunderstanding early on that like all of the suits you have to like actively activate their power. For some reason earlier on, I thought that some of them, like, it was implying that, like, some of those abilities were passive.
Yeah, I know. I thought that too. Yeah.
I unlocked a few of them thinking, like, oh, like, this is just going to be, like, a thing that I'm going to be able to do at all times. And then I was like, oh, I have to, like, wait for it to recharge and turn it on. And I don't actually really like this.
Like, you're invincible to bullets or whatever. And I was like, that's way too easy.
Right, seeing that early on before we played, and I was like, shit, that's like, why the fuck wouldn't I use that shit all the time? But like now you have to activate it. It's like I never use it really.
I spent a weird amount of time at the very beginning of the game when I should have been like using the like really novel game specific stuff, like the normal suit, as Iron Spider using the Iron Spider legs. Just because I thought it was so cool that they like had the Iron Spider legs in there and they were super fun. It looks
so good.
Yeah, and it like works really well. Like you can take down anyone with those.
Yes. Yeah. I thought that was maybe my favorite power.
When I was playing the game the first time, I was like strictly like, I'm going to play with the... there's the timer. I was strictly playing with the advanced suit, like pretty much the entire time.
Yeah, me too. But like, what was like the main, did you switch powers with it?
Yeah,
what was the main power you used?
Honestly, like, I like the Web Blossom a lot. I use that one a lot.
Yeah. That was the one where you like jump in the air and web everyone? Is that what it was?
Yeah. I just like, I felt like it was more of like a move rather than feeling cheap. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like getting like armor that like would deflect bullets back to people. Like I would rather just be like, oh, I can spin around in the air and shoot everybody with a web.
That does sound appealing.
No, I get that. But my main one throughout the majority of the game was the quad punch thing with the
which one does that come with? The
fear itself, and it like doubles your strength.
What does that do? It just makes you like stronger.
You could like knock out enemies in like 2 hits. It's like
that does sound really useful.
Yeah, it was very cheap, but I was like, all right, I can dig it.
I used the Iron Spider legs the most for like the first half of the game, and then I switched to some other stuff. And to be completely honest, after I switched out of the Iron Spider legs, I tended to forget that I had any of the other abilities. So I think I used like each of the abilities like once before I would like switch to a different one to try it. So yeah, I used the Iron Spider legs a lot though.
It just seems like some of them are way better than others.
Yeah.
For instance, there's one that's like a super running charge. Did any of you guys use that?
I never used it.
No,
but I know it's the velocity.
Suit. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to use it at some point just to see, like, that's a special ability.
Definitely.
So, like,
and they fall over, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Big deal.
Shot time?
Shot time. That's right. I almost forgot.
Yeah,
Thank you, Doug.
All right.
Here to keep you guys on schedule.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else you guys like are dying to talk about? What did you guys think of specifically the final battle? The final boss fight?
I thought it looked really, really cool.
It did. Yes.
Yeah.
Were you guys confused at all by the number of times you had to like take down Doc Ock? Like, like break him from his pattern,
What do you mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, maybe it was just me, and maybe I was doing something wrong. I'm not sure. But for me, so he oscillates between those two modes where he's like on the ground of that roof, and he's throwing pieces of tech at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like pieces of the roof at you, and then climbing up that tower and throwing pieces of the tower at you.
Right.
Okay. And I feel like I had to punch him and knock him down from that tower at least 6 times.
I definitely did not have to do it that many times.
Okay, because I felt like my game was was glitching in some way. In a way that made it feel like it was like not triggering the next bit, and maybe that was a mistake.
I mean, you would go and beat him up every time you did that, right? Like you'd knock him down. Yeah. I don't know.
I'd knock him down, and then I'd go punch him, and then he would get up and throw more stuff at me.
I think, like, in my game, he jumped on that tower thing, like, 3 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he did it a few times. Yeah. I don't know about 6.
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like it took a while. Anyways, I just wanted to make sure I see if my game was doing something weird or not. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But
no, it was a cool fight, though. They said that
it was a really cinematic, cool, like, fight. Yeah.
Them like fighting on the side of the building, like
that was so cool. I love that.
That was so
like
cool.
One of the first things they thought about for this game.
Oh, nice!
They were like, that's one of the things we want to do.
And that was the last bit. That was really cool.
On the side of the building.
It was super satisfying, like as like a climactic moment. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I thought it was cool. Still though, I mean, I think that the Mr. Negative fight was my personal favorite fight. What was you guys' favorite fight in the game?
I really liked the Doc Ock fight, but I might have to say Vulture and Electro, maybe.
Okay.
I liked fighting them in midair and everything. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, I thought that was probably between that or I'm probably between that or Doc Ock.
Was so cool, yeah.
Doc Ock was like
was
visually and emotionally like the most affecting of those fights.
Yeah.
For sure. But I did like that first time when you go did you have to do them in that order? I don't remember because there was a point at which you could do a couple.
I think you had to do them.
I think you have to do those. And there was a point where like you can choose between either going after Rhino or going after Electro.
But you don't fight them.
But you don't fight them. Yeah,
you counter them or something. But I don't think you fight them.
But that moment when you're going to go fight Electro and Vulture shows up. And you're like, oh shit, I have to fight both of them, was so cool. And I felt like that was such a cinematic, cool moment when you had to be kind of like, it felt really novel to have to be juggling between like focusing on either one of them. And neither one was like especially hard, really.
No.
But like,
were you ever at all?
It was really cool. It was a really cool sequence.
Yeah. Were you ever at all disappointed that you didn't fight all 6 of them at the same time?
That would have been a lot.
It would have been a lot.
I was mentally bracing the whole time.
The Sinister Six.
That would have been
why wouldn't they attack you all at the same time?
Yeah.
So I thought that was a little weird that never happened, but it was cool on the raft to at least see it happen.
Yeah, that was cool.
Even though we saw it at E3, like it was.
I mean, my biggest question, you say like, why didn't we fight the whole Sinister Six? Why didn't Doc Ock just kill Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Like when they fucked him up on the raft and he had him and he was like, just stay out of our way and just toss him to the side.
Because he knew it was Peter. I think the idea is that like there is some element of him inside that is still Otto Octavius, the good, noble scientist, you know, like, who's like still trying to be good. I don't know. Okay. Maybe. That's me.
Maybe.
That's me guessing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know that that's necessarily something that they directly imply or not. I don't think they do. That's just that's just something that maybe makes sense. Maybe.
Yeah. What do you? What side missions did you like? Did you like the Tombstone stuff?
That stuff that was probably my favorite side mission stuff.
Do you actually fight Tombstone?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's pretty.
There's a boss fight.
Did you guys know who Tombstone was before this game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Spider-Man has historically been one of my kind of comics gaps a little bit. Like, I know all the basics.
That's
I know the basics. I know kind of like, I know like, you know, like the broad strokes. Like, I know his like generally who his villains are, but that one's just that little bit esoteric.
Yeah.
You know, just that little bit further than like the basic knowledge of all his villains. So like I didn't know anything about him. And they kind of like I looked him up afterwards and I've definitely seen him before. But like they kind of reinvent him a bit in this game in a way that like
they reinvent him in a pretty major way.
Yeah.
Like that's not the Tombstone from the comics. And I liked it. I think it was cool.
I thought it was really cool. The fight with him was really cool. It kind of had like a couple different forms.
It's great.
But
I'm looking forward to doing it.
It's short and it's small, but it's a side quest. Okay. But I liked the fact that you get to fight him and
one thing that I'm hoping for, because as you're saying, like they're going to do a lot more of at least Spider-Man sequels and maybe a more broader Marvel games universe. But like I hope that when they do villain boss fights, especially villain side boss fights like that, I hope that not even just side ones, just villain boss fights in general, they mix up the mechanics a bit more. Yeah, because it did feel like the solution to all of them was kind of the exact same.
Web him up and beat him down, right?
You know what? I loved this game, but at the same time, while I was playing it, I was definitely like, this is the first game. You know what I mean?
Yes.
With video games, like the second one is always like 10 times better. And I was just like, this game's amazing, but like, this is their concept. Right. Like, this is what a franchise is going to be.
This is their Iron Man.
Yeah, Iron Man. So it's just going to get better from here.
It's an incredible pitch for what I think could potentially be like one of the all-time great series. Like, I think all of the minor gripes that I have with this game, like stuff that I've said so far, are all easily fixed in a way that's like not central to like the things that are actually amazing about this game.
Right.
Like, and like, I think they will definitely hear that stuff and react to it. I don't think there's any way they won't, like in a sequel.
I mean, it's interesting because it's Insomniac and they're known for having their own IPs.
Yeah.
They're like, that's like their thing is that they make games from the ground up that nobody's ever heard of before. But like after this, Spider-Man was record breaking how much it sold.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Insomniac is going to now be the Spider-Man studio.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like, that's what they are now.
Do you think that it'll be the Marvel studio? Do you think that, all right, so these Marvel games that are, so
do you think other studios are going to make them?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm, So the Marvel game, or the Avengers game that was announced years ago, the Square Enix is doing.
That's not related, I don't think.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask. Do you think it might be connected to this Spider-Man universe?
I don't think so.
I mean, they said that Marvel is working on other Marvel games.
But it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same studio working on it.
No, I mean, like, in fact, Marvel came to Insomniac and was like, who do you want to make a game about? And it was Insomniac that was like, hands down, Spider-Man.
So then that means that Marvel's probably going to other
major third-party studios.
So then these
like,
games
who do you want to make?
Be connected.
Oh, yeah. No, I think they will be. I think this is where we're entering like a Marvel cinematic
You don't think
universe.
so, Doc?
I don't doubt that we're entering, like, they're making some sort of shared Marvel universe. I'm not sure from, like, what they've revealed about I mean, like, they have said basically nothing about that Avengers game, but, like, I don't know that I have gleaned that those are connected in any way. I somehow doubt that, but maybe.
I think they will be. I really do. I think they'll be connected.
Interesting.
I appreciate the optimism, Brian. Doug? That pessimist attitude?
You can tell me to go.
Keep it. No.
Keep it. Yeah. We need
everyone needs
a downer. Everyone needs a downer.
No, I really do. I think it'll be a shared universe. I think this Avengers game that'll come out will be part of it. And I think that's a reason why we didn't see anybody else in the Spider-Man game.
There are a lot of Easter eggs for a game in which you see no other superheroes.
Yeah, for real. None at all.
Yeah. But like there are a lot of Easter eggs, like in terms of like other characters existing. You know,
they explained that too, and they said that like why couldn't you go to Avengers Tower, look through the window, and see Iron Man or like Tony Stark walking around like through the glass? And then he was like, well, because if you saw Tony Stark walking around, then you'd want a mission where you fight alongside Iron Man.
Yeah, and why wouldn't Iron Man come and help out in his city?
And then why wouldn't you be able to play as Iron Man?
Yeah, exactly. No. So I totally understand the restraint.
So they were like, this is Spider-Man. Yeah. Like, and it makes sense. But I do think that eventually these will connect.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the Avengers weren't there because they were in space helping out.
Okay.
They actually said where they were in the game.
Did they?
Yeah.
Did they?
They said they were on the West Coast.
Okay.
When did they say that?
I think it was a backpack thing.
Oh, okay.
But
that's cool.
Yeah, they said, when you go to the Avengers Tower and take a picture of it, because he says stuff after you take a picture. I think he says like they're over on the West Coast.
I did.
I didn't. Huh.
And then again, they said Brian and Tahar said that like they were like, oh, like do you know like what the Avengers were doing at that point? Because you said, and he was like, well, I don't know. Like, we live on the West Coast, so we thought it'd be cool. And I was like, just say something else.
Get it together, dude. Just say anything.
Just say, like, yeah, I know what they were doing.
Yeah, they were fighting fucking Thanos or some shit.
Yeah. That would be cool eventually. Like, if there was, like, what if this Avengers game came out and, like, Spider-Man was a part of it? And you could play as him with the same controls and the same way we know how to play as Spider-Man. Isn't that? I mean, that would be really cool. And it was the same Peter Parker with the white spider and everything.
Can we talk about Peter real quick?
Let's talk about Peter real quick.
Did you guys get an Andrew Garfield vibe from him? Did he look like Andrew Garfield? I felt like he looked kind of like Andrew Garfield.
No, that's just
visually. Maybe
I don't love it. I don't love it anymore. Visually, yes.
Visually, I could see how you could like get a like his face looks somewhat like an Andrew Garfield, but personality-wise, could not be further.
But like, I'm not saying like he was Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. I'm just saying he was like.
How dare you, Matt?
He was like a mixture of James Franco and Andrew Garfield, as far as looks go.
Franco.
That's right.
Interesting.
That's right. The puffy hair. Come on.
The puffy hair.
Oh man.
No, I thought he was a really good Peter Parker.
He was.
It was cool.
Yeah.
That's my boy Sasuke, man, from Naruto.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yuri or whatever?
What?
The actor's name is
Yuri
Yuri something.
Lowenthal.
He plays Sasuke.
I looked him up just like a couple hours ago before the show, just to like, I was like, did they use him for the model for this character? And I was like, oh my god, this man is old.
No, he's definitely not. He's an old dude. He's not like super old.
No,
but
he's not like
he's definitely
80 years
graying.
Oh man.
No, he's just like a I don't know. He's like a 30 or 40-year-old man. But
did they use him for the mocap?
I doubt it.
Damn,
I mean, if he's like flipping around and stuff, I don't know. Maybe for like
for facial, like for normal a scene as Peter Parker, I feel like they probably did. It felt like mocap, like all the character interaction scenes.
Right.
I feel like they had to have, but I don't know.
My girl Laura Bailey is MJ. That girl can do many voices.
What is she? What is she in?
She was in Uncharted. She was Nadine.
Okay. For some reason,
yeah,
I went through this game thinking that the character model and voice for that character.
Laura Bailey is like.
I thought like she's
like the Nolan North of like female characters. Yeah.
I thought like she doesn't.
No, she does like a black girl playing Nadine.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
her character model and her voice in this game look and sound so much like Ellie in The Last of Us. I thought it was that actress.
Really?
Oh no. Yeah. All right, there's another shot.
That was quick, man. Time flies when you're
drunk. Here's another. Let's do it.
All right.
You taking a shot, Doug?
Yep.
Doug just did a shot of lemonade. He's like, yeah, I just did some.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing alcohol, you guys.
It's real quick about shot technicality.
Okay.
When you take your shots, because this is what I do. I don't know if it's right, but it's what I've always done.
Okay.
I take the shot, I get the whole shot in my mouth.
Okay.
And then I swallow it. Do you does it go from glass to swallow? Or is it like glass, mouth, swallow?
Wait, you mean like you like get it down your throat as quickly as possible? Is that basically what you're saying?
No, he's saying he holds it in his mouth before he swallows.
For the briefest of seconds, because I can't swallow it
swallow
away.
that shit. You gotta swallow that shit as quickly as possible.
I can't
just do it. I know it sounds hard, but it's easier. Way easier because I do that sometimes. I hold it in my mouth, and that's when I get.
Yes, agreed.
I'm gonna have to give it a try on the next go.
He's gonna puke all over my table.
Probably. I'm too drunk to clean it up, so that's all you.
Great.
Yeah.
Finish your shots, Brian.
Man, I haven't my shot.
No.
Yeah, you just poured some in there.
Get out of here! I did not.
Poured some in there
So okay. So let's okay. So we'll assume that the Square Enix Avengers game is somehow connected. If we were to get another solo character game in this universe,
solo character,
what solo character and what production company?
Yeah, first off, yeah, just gut reaction. What is the character in this universe you would want to see a game of? And then maybe, reverse engineer who you think who could do a good game of that character.
Gut reaction, I want to say the X-Men.
Okay.
But is that a solo?
Not really a solo character, but...
Solo character.
But yes.
If we're doing solo character...
Because I would have said Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's not solo.
Exactly, no, but so if we're talking solo...
I feel like that's maybe a valid answer to the question, because X-Men are like a specific property in the same way that like Spider-Man is. But like, I feel like that could be an answer, but
I think, again, it's not Solo, but a Fantastic Four game, I think would be pretty phenomenal if they did it right.
A Fantastic Four game would be really fun. Imagine how fun an Ant-Man game would be.
Holy shit. I didn't even think about that.
That would be pretty fucking
To be
cool.
able to get, whenever you want to get really small,
Yeah.
that would be like, or huge.
Yeah.
It would be like,
Either way.
It would be unprecedented. We've never seen a video game like that
Exactly.
before.
Also, I have absolutely no idea how the mechanics, like how you would build that.
Yeah, it would be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But if someone pulled that off, that would be amazing.
It could work.
Yeah. What studio would you think would be able to pull that off?
Holy shit, I don't know.
Honestly, I would I love, there are other studios that I would want to do other games, but I think Insomniac could handle that one again.
Yeah, honestly,
Insomniac has proven themselves to be able to handle anything.
Honestly, with a character like that, all I can think of is Insomniac after this.
I want to see Sucker Punch make it. I mean, they're working on stuff right now, but I think they're.
I'm trying to think
to make a superhero game.
What would Sucker Punch be good at? Like, what if Sucker Punch were to make a game? I feel like this is maybe a better question. Like, if Sucker Punch were to make a game, because they were the rumored studio before Insomniac was going to make Spider-Man.
I thought they were going to make Spider-Man.
What after like the infamous games and the stuff we've seen of Ghost of Tsushima? How the fuck do you say that game? Tsushima.
TS. So,
oh boy, you guys.
Sue.
Yep.
How are we all feeling? Are we feeling good? Are we
tipsy?
I'm tipsy too.
Little tipsy. But yeah, what could they make that would be really cool in the Marvel universe?
You said the developers of like Dark Souls, those guys?
No. That's from software. Sucker Punch, which is like Sly Cooper and Infamous.
Why were we talking about Ghost of Tsushima?
Because they're making Ghost of Tsushima. That's their next game. You're thinking of Shadows Die Twice.
That's what you're right. Okay, you're right. That's what I'm thinking of. Ghost of Tsushima is that beautiful samurai game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
God.
That game looks good as hell, and I'm not interested in the least in like when they announced that game. I was like, because I love the Infamous games, and they announced that game, and I was like, maybe I'm not interested in this. And then they showed gameplay, and I was like, holy shit, this looks good.
Yeah, they're a great developer. They have a great track run, and I don't know. I'm trying to, because they're very good at movement. They're like really good at like.
Yeah. They're very
That's
good
why
at the
I thought
things
they would
that
be so good at Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're very good at the things that, like Insomniac, that you would have thought like would make them good at a Spider-Man game, and it makes sense that that's why they were rumored for it, or maybe in development. I don't know, but I'm not sure.
I could, you know what? Like, I hate to say it. Maybe this is kind of a boring answer. No offense. Like a Black Widow game, I thought would be.
Oh, that's
something
cool.
No, you're right, but I think it has to be someone that's like a superhero, but not super powered.
Sure.
So I was thinking Daredevil.
Daredevil would be great. That's
Daredevil would be super good.
Or like any of the Defenders game.
Moon Knight would be fucking awesome.
Would be cool too.
Iron Fist, I think those
something
would be
like
good.
maybe a little bit lower stakes, but Daredevil is perfect. I feel like Daredevil would be a great game that they would make.
I feel like a character like a Daredevil or a Moon Knight who's like a Spider-Man in that they have a low level of maybe superpower-esque kind of abilities, but like also a heavy element of stealth. Yeah. Like, I feel like that is maybe a strength of theirs.
I want like one of these games, maybe this new Avengers game. I want somebody to delve into the newer Avengers. Did you guys ever read Infinity? I know I let you borrow it, but I'm talking to Brian. Did you ever finish it?
I didn't finish it. I will finish it.
Doug, did you ever read Infinity?
I didn't read Infinity. Which Avengers are you talking about? You're just talking about like the modern Avengers, or are you talking about quote new Avengers like the team?
I don't know. I think it was the modern Avengers. They were the Avengers in
that book.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a ton of them. There's like fucking 12,
I think
13, 14 members.
That was Jonathan Hickman was concurrently writing both Avengers and the book New Avengers at that time. And the regular Avengers book was like the fucking roster was enormous, and it was a really good roster.
Huge, yeah. It was great. So there's this one character and who's along with him that I'd never seen before reading Infinity, but after reading Infinity, I was like, these guys are fucking cool. You guys know Starbrand?
Starbrand's cool.
Starbrand is right?
Starbrand is a character who Hickman brought back for his Avengers run, who was an old, like, Silver Age.
I did not know that.
Character.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
He's like a cosmic powered character who's like
and
defender of the cosmos. He's cool.
And like at least in the newer in Infinity, he's like a younger guy who's being trained by I don't remember what his name is, but like his guy who's like always with him. And he's
Night
like,
Mask?
I think so. He's like a black cosmic guy.
Shade, Night Mask?
Something
I think it's Night
like
Mask.
that, yeah.
He's got like a weird cone of like stars or whatever for legs.
Yeah, exactly. Right. He's like very mystical and cosmic. Like, but like he's training Starbrand for like throughout, and he's like Starbrand's like, I want to help. And the dude's like, nah, you're not ready yet. And then at one point, like, I want to help. Yeah, you're ready. Go do it. And Starbrand just like wrecks everything. He's so powerful. And I want to see, and that's why I like
powerful superheroes like that, where they're like so powerful. It makes me like less interested.
Why?
Because it gets to a point where like they're so powerful that like who cares?
But then look at Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. You like that,
As a
right?
villain, that's better because it means that the heroes have to overcome this horrible power to take him down. But like for a hero, it's like Superman. He's just like so powerful that like who cares?
But like, I mean, Superman has his weaknesses.
I think that the story, like, I totally see what you're saying, Brian. I feel like the challenge then in the writer's corner then becomes, and like what makes a good Superman story, or if we're talking about Starbrand or whoever, like the challenge becomes like, how do you make it about something that is stakes for them as opposed to like stakes for other characters? Like, for example, with Superman, it's like, how do you make it more about the emotional stakes than you do about the physical ones? And those are the best Superman stories, like, in my opinion. I totally see what you're saying. I think, it's a different type of goals in terms of like
that
storytelling.
To me is very DC.
Yes.
I mean, definitely Marvel is definitely a different brand than DC as far as like, I mean, I like DC a lot, but like Marvel to me has always been a little more, it's been closer to home, if that makes sense.
For sure.
Grounded.
That's a goal. That's a goal of theirs.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I've always loved the cosmic characters in Marvel. I think the cosmic aspect of Marvel is so fun and fascinating and like just like out of this world, and it's like so fun to see that along with characters like Spider-Man or Captain America. And so like Adam Warlock, for instance, I fucking love Adam Warlock.
Yeah, he's cool.
Love him. He's so cool, man.
Adam Warlock.
And I just at some point in this Marvel game universe, if it pops off, which I'm sure it will, I want to see some cosmic shit happen.
Yeah. Fucking Marvel cosmic shit Galactus, is so cool.
You know? I know, man. It's so cool. I mean, because the thing with like DC is like they're always cosmic. They're always fighting guys from space and shit. But like Marvel, I mean, granted,
it's a special thing over at Marvel. You know, like it's like every once in a while, it's like, oh shit, this is gonna get cosmic, and it's like a special, like unique, like it feels big and important in a way that like. That doesn't necessarily mean the same thing over at DC because, yes, that is a much more regular kind of occurrence.
Exactly. And it's like when you get that big panel or that big page, that full page of fucking Galactus coming in or Thanos, and you're like, oh shit. Shit's about to get real. We're about to get a video
game boss battle, a video game like like single player story based campaign boss battle where you're fighting Galactus.
You know it would be fucking
cool
awesome, dude.
Like God of War style, where he's just fucking enormous,
quick time events and shit. You know.
Well, okay, maybe not that.
You don't like quick time events?
Mixed relationship.
Well, but like, if you mix in quick time events with proper beat 'em up combo shit.
How did you feel
about it's just like a way to spice up a cinematic? If it's a way to spice up a cinematic, I think that's cool. I do think they could have done a few of the bigger quick time events in Spider-Man as more direct controlled bits, but they looked really cool, and like I'm not necessarily complaining, but
there are some things that you just like. I think even developers are just like, we just can't do this.
No, but also I feel like there's an element. There's an element of like, I feel like as a developer, you should be able to look at a sequence and be like, okay, maybe we can't do that as a direct controlled, player controlled sequence, but then maybe you have to be like, okay, well, what could we do as a player controlled sequence that could potentially be like a much more of like effective in emotional sense, like sequence for you to physically play. Like, so I look at something like the stuff that fucking, damn it, what's their name? I've drank too much. What is the Uncharted people? The Uncharted people, Naughty Dog. Like the shit they do to specifically put you always like in the shoes of their characters. Like, yes, they sometimes do like a quick time event or two or whatever, but like they go to great lengths to put you more often than not in the shoes of the characters in cinematic moments like that, even if it means slightly scaling back what they can visually do. And I think that is something that a lot of developers could really take a note from. But that said, I think that the really cool aerobatic like action sequences they do in Spider-Man sometimes are really cool.
You know who is good at that though is Rockstar. And I know Rockstar is never going to make a superhero game like, oh my god, there's the timer. Is never going to make a superhero game like that, but I mean, they're so good at making everything they do feel like you've done it in real time in the real world.
Yep.
And
even when sometimes it isn't necessarily that much different from a quick time event, they make you feel like you fucking did it yourself. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like they're really good at disguising
the tools to make it feel like you are the one in control, and that's what makes them a step above the rest, in my opinion. But we'll see that with Red Dead 2. We don't have to talk about that. So, I don't know. Do you have anything else you want to say about the story of Spider-Man?
I mean, I feel like I've said pretty much everything about the story that I want to say.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just like overall, just so. I just want to like reiterate, like I was so actually taken aback by like how well done the character stuff was in this game, and I knew going in that like the traversal and moving around was going to be incredible. Like I knew that was going to be the highlight. It was
going to be the spotlight.
Yeah.
What do you want to be in the next game? What do you want to be the focus of Spider-Man 2?
If they can manage it, I would like more. And I know this feels kind of at odds with how much I'm saying how good the main story stuff was, but if they can manage it, I would like to see more side villain, more kind of fleshed out side villain content, because that's something that like I feel like is like some, even though like I love yes, like more fleshed out side mission villain stuff with like a good boss battle at the end. Like I look at games like Spider-Man 2, which is always a weird touchstone for this game, even though it's super old.
Because it's the best Spider-Man game
before
since
this game.
This one. Yeah.
Before this game, it was the best Spider-Man game. I mean, in a number of senses. And Arkham City, which I think is the high point of the Arkham series, in how like they integrate, they make you feel like less so in the Arkham series, but like still kind of to a degree. Like they make you feel like I want to feel like I'm living while living the big story stuff. Also, like I want to live a day in the life of Spider-Man. I just want to like fucking like here's some random, completely unrelated like like Mysterio is causing some crime over here, and it's not related to the main story, but like it's still cool and unique mechanically in its own right.
It has like a bit of a story element to the side quests.
Like I look at like stuff like The Witcher and see how like they integrate like unique, small, catered stories in all of their side content, even if it's the smallest little bit. Like, like I would love to see some of that kind of stuff make its way into a superhero game.
Doug, the one of the things on I was about to say Comics Covered. That's not my podcast. The one of the things on Mashing Buttons that I try to reiterate over and over again is how much I want Matt to play the Arkham series.
Wait.
I'm familiar.
Can you guys just, what is the Arkham series?
All right, no, he knows. Don't buy into that. Help me convince
the Arkham
Matt to
series
play.
is a game in which you play as. No, sorry, go on.
Wait, I was into that. I didn't.
That was it. I want you to convince Matt, because I can't do it. Convince Matt to play the Arkham series.
Matt is at the end of his Brian is at the end of his fucking rope here. Like he's like turning to me, just be like, Jesus Christ, I can't do this anymore.
Fucking
can you please
to play these games? Because he just won't do it.
Okay, here we go.
It's not that I won't do it. It's just like,
if you like Spider-Man, like that's what Arkham is.
Well, let me ask you this: after playing the shit out of Spider-Man, you think I can go back to Arkham?
Yes.
If I play Arkham, I'd be like, man, this ain't Spider-Man.
No.
Fuck this weak ass game.
No, not at all.
This weak ass fucking DC bullshit. Batman. Who the fuck is Batman game? Right? Would I say that?
I think it might be slightly a bit of a jump to go directly from this game to the first Arkham game. I think it's definitely I think it's definitely worth doing, but you should go into it with the mindset of like this game is pulling expanding on so many of the specific combat mechanics of the Arkham series that
Arkham
like you should this game does not exist without the Arkham series. But like like the Arkham series is
Spider-Man
so fucking
combat wouldn't even exist if Arkham didn't.
No.
I feel like personally that Arkham is probably like just a shit game.
Jesus Christ.
And I just like won't.
It's so like, I mean, it's ridiculous because like as far as like how they deal with the narrative and how they deal with the combat and the mobility in the game, like they nail it just like Spider-Man.
Like, no, honestly, like here's the thing: I know for a fact that like if I were to get into it, I would play it and I would love it because I do like Batman. But it's just like every time I try to play it, I don't know if another game comes out or if I just like happen to just fall out of it or something. I just never ever get pulled into it ever.
Matt,
and I'm
I have a thing here. Okay. So I agree with you. I know you will like these games if you play them. Games more than any other medium is not helped by the passage of time. Like more than movies, more than comics, more than anything. Like the longer you wait to play, and I hate to put that kind of pressure. The longer I
wait, it's going to be worse.
100%. He's right, but at the same time, these games are still right now
They're
very,
amazing
very good.
right now.
Yeah.
Right
So
now, they're incredible.
If you go back and play the very first Arkham game, you won't be like, oh man, this is such an old game. It's not like, I mean, it's a very great game still to this day. So you should, I mean, like, the narrative and the way that they make this character and the mechanics behind his combat and everything is perfect. I mean, you really have to.
Do you think I can get all three of them for like 15
not
bucks?
15.
I don't know about
10,
15.
But they're all of them
$10?
are in a pack somewhere on PlayStation Store.
How much?
I don't know.
40? If it's 40, I
Are
ain't
all of
getting
them on PS4?
It's 40 for 3 amazing games.
That's
you wouldn't
right.
get that?
Because they're not
They're all on
PS4.
PS4, Doug.
Are they?
They came out with a Return to Arkham.
Yep.
And I bought it, and they're all. There's a pack somewhere where all 3 of them are, or because for some reason you can't play Arkham Origins on PS4. Doesn't matter. That was the bad one.
That's what I hear. It's not the one you want to play.
Was it actually
anyways.
bad? I was never clear on that. I never played it.
It wasn't made by Rocksteady.
Yeah, I know
It
that.
was like, it was taken from WB and everything, but it's okay. You don't need to play it as long as you play Arkham and Arkham City and Arkham Knight. Those are the ones that are important.
As a fan of those games who's played the 3 other games, if I wanted another Arkham game and I haven't played that one, do you think I should avoid it or I should play it?
No, I think you should. It's a good game. You're going to have to hook up your PS3 again because for some reason they don't put it out on PS4. But it's a really good game, and it has its where Batman and Joker first met and everything, which is cool. And some of the boss fights in that game were really, really good. That was where it actually shined. Was with the boss fights. But,
okay, that's actually very encouraging because I've other than Arkham City found the Arkham boss fight stuff to be not super great.
Yeah, with Origins, it's almost the opposite. It's like everything in the game is like, but then you play the boss fights, and the boss fights were really, really good.
What are the boss fights in Origins?
There's a really cool Deathstroke one.
That's the last fight, right? No?
There's a really cool Bane. The Bane fight in it was the best of the series. And you fight Bane in every single game. But it was the best in Origins.
Did you fight him in Arkham Knight?
I don't remember.
Origins fight was better than City's fight.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Honestly, the way they handle anything outside of the main story in Arkham Knight, I don't know that I can get behind all that much.
Yeah, Arkham City is the best one.
Arkham City is
Asylum is very good.
Yeah.
And Arkham Knight is good, but it has its problems with
I love the story.
I love the story. It's very predictable if you read the
Jason.
They try to sneak it up on you, but it's not.
It's not. They
know what's going to happen. Arkham
it's
Knight
not
is
possible
Jason
to sneak it up on
the
you.
Red Hood. Who cares? It's really, really good. And it looks the best. Obviously, the graphics in it are amazing. You get to drive the Batmobile all through Gotham.
You were saying the Batmobile in Arkham Knight is one of the worst things about it, right?
They have a mechanic. Well,
half and half.
Yeah, he's right. It's like the Batmobile is cool to be able to drive around and be able to launch out of it and be able to flame. I mean, it's all good. Then there's this mechanic where they have you. It turns into a tank, and you fight these robotic other tanks, and that would have been okay for one mission, but they keep repeating it over and over again.
Yeah, it becomes a central driving around in the Batmobile and fucking being able to traverse in it and do fucking cool Batmobile shit in it. Just as a mode of transportation is so cool, and we'll go out and leap out and stuff. But they force you. They treat it as such a core escalating mechanic in the game in terms of putting you in combat encounters with the tank mode of the Batmobile. It's really frustrating.
It gets annoying, but it's not a killer to the game. And
no.
And if you play the first one and you play the second one, you'll want to play the third one, and it's still very worth playing.
Okay.
All the things most of the things you like about all the previous games are still there in Arkham Knight. Like, it's still a very good game. It just also has some frustrating stuff mixed in there with it.
Okay. Do you think they'll come out with another one?
I don't know.
Rocksteady is working on some other superhero game.
They're not telling us what it is.
They're not telling us what it is.
What do you think it is?
People think it's a Superman game. I hope it's a Batman Beyond game, but I have no idea.
I hope it's I hope it's a DC character who is not Batman related, honestly.
Who do you want it to be?
It would be cool to see them do something new.
Doug, who do you want it to be? In your ideal world.
The obvious answer is Superman. I feel like that's the most likely thing if they weren't doing another Batman thing.
Uh-huh.
I would love to see a fucking good Flash game. Like, someone nailed that'd be cool. That.
Here's the thing about the Flash game, though. That idea is like, you know, obviously Flash's power is super fucking speed.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how.
So it's like, how would that work in a?
Yeah, I don't know how you do. That's what I'm so curious about. I feel like if someone were to figure out a really unique, cool way to mechanically represent that in a way that made you feel like you were super fast, I feel like that would be amazing.
I think feeling like super fast wouldn't be that difficult. It's the issue of, progressing through the game, fighting characters that aren't bosses, like regular characters, and it being always easy because you are the Flash.
Yeah, you know? I mean, I don't know. I feel like that just would represent like a different kind of structure of the game. Like, maybe there wouldn't be as much of a focus on, like, as in this game, because Flash is definitely not a street level character in the same way that, like, Spider-Man is, you know?
Exactly.
Like, he's not, like, that would be, you know, chump change for him. Like, he'd just be knocking all those guys out. I don't know. I'm just so curious to see if someone could, like, put a good spin on that and figure that out. I feel like they could, you know? Like, I feel like they're clever enough in how they treat their mechanics, and they think enough about, like, deeply about, like, how to put you in the shoes of a character and make you really feel like them, that, like, they could make a really cool fucking Flash game.
I need a video game studio to nail Green Lantern.
And I think, honestly, Green Lantern would be the easiest. I'm not going to say easiest, but, like, I think that would be...
Green Lantern, you think would be easy?
I think it would be the more likely.
I think it would be... Green Lantern, if done right, would be one of the hardest video games.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think there's such
I think Green Lantern would be easier than the Flash or Superman.
To feel like Green Lantern, you have to be able to create whatever you want.
But you can't do that, though.
Right.
I can't go back from that. What was that thing we talked about at one point where it was basically it's Scribbled Knots.
Scribbled Knots.
But it's fucking Green Lantern. That is, like, I can't get that out of my head whenever I think about this, in that, like, you need, after thinking about that, like, it's kind of, like, central to the character, and that you need at least the feeling of, like, having unlimited options.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have tons and tons of options in terms of what you could make. Otherwise, it's going to feel like you're just doing moves in the way that you're doing in a different kind of superhero game. And
now,
I don't
what
think
if,
that
like,
fits.
What if they either, you go the Scribble Knots route, and, like, you're able to sort of draw things, and maybe they'll, like, you draw it out, and then they'll, like, Green Lantern mode it for you to make it look like it good. Or they just have, like, a major, like, library of moves that you can choose from, and, like, sort of, like,
that would probably be satisfactory.
That would probably, it would work. I mean, it's almost kind of like Injustice too. It's not that there's a shit ton you can do, but, like, there are combos that you can do where he makes different weapons and stuff like that. But that's not, like, if you want the true spirit of Green Lantern, it would have to be, you'd have to be able to make whatever you want. And that would be the biggest challenge for a video game ever.
Especially on Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah.
Nintendo might be able to get it down.
How would Nintendo?
Because they got their stylus, man.
They don't have the CPU to do it.
But they got the stylus.
They don't have the visuals to, like, pull off what you would probably want from a major studio superhero game. But I think
have
they do
the stylus.
I think they have
You shot him?
mechanically the chops to like
time
make a game like that. I don't know.
Did you forget to
But-
set the timer?
No, it went off a long time.
I
It went
don't
off
know
a
that.
while ago. I was
long
waiting for
time
someone to say
ago.
something about it.
Oh shit! All right, well let's do it.
Let's just do this shot.
I kept thinking one of you guys was gonna try to wrap up, so we weren't gonna do it. So
It should be soon. How long have we gone?
I want to. What do we expect from a sequel? Venom? Do we want Venom?
I would like to see
Green
Venom.
Goblin.
I would like to see.
I mean, they definitely
Miles
have.
Morales.
They have an obligation to do Venom at this point.
Absolutely. I want to see Green Goblin too.
Yes, they also
Yeah.
set up Green Goblin in a way that made me think like we're gonna get both of the Osborns as like major parts of the next game.
I thought there was a moment there in this game that like as MJ you put on Green Goblin's helmet. Did you do that? I think
What?
you have to. I think you have to.
You
I
can
don't
put
think
it
you have to.
on?
Yeah, she puts it
I
on.
don't think you have to,
No,
because that wasn't like a story progression sort of thing.
I
It wasn't?
do not.
No.
I like saw it as her. I like looked at it, picked it up, but I don't. How do you put it on? Put it on?
No,
Dude.
when she picks it up, she puts it.
Yeah, she picks it up. She puts it on.
She like looks through it,
And she
you
looks
see,
through
like,
it.
all the
Maybe I
thing.
did. Maybe I did.
and then
do
that's
that
how
then.
you find the secret room
Oh, no,
that Osborn has.
Right. Okay, that it isn't necessary.
And if you like pay attention when she puts it on, in the corners of the screen that you see like a glider in the left hand
Mhm.
corner, and then like pumpkin bombs in the right hand corner. So
Yeah,
it was just like they hinted at Goblin a lot in this game.
Oh yeah, they had like you could actually like look at the pumpkin bombs in the lab
Yeah,
behind that wall.
Yeah.
Like they were definitely hinting at like at least the development of Goblin.
yeah. So I hope the next game has Venom, and I hope it has Goblin. Those are the two things. And I'm sorry, third thing, Miles Morales. I hope he's
Prominent.
Yeah.
he's becoming a Spider-Man at that
Yeah,
point.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think that's something they have, like, they need to pay off for this to be satisfying. Like, yeah, that Miles needs to be, at the very least, like, figuring out his powers. And if they're going to continue with this, like, playing in other players' perspectives, I think it could be really cool to, like, yeah, play missions as Miles, like, learning to use his Spider-Man powers. I think that could be a really, really good step up from the kinds of side character main missions that you were doing in this first game.
Yeah, I agree. I think there should be just like I want to see almost like a GTA style being able to switch between Peter and
Oh yeah,
That would be
that'd
awesome,
Cool.
yeah.
That'd be great. That's
Yeah.
perfect, honestly.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be really
That'd be
really cool.
yeah, absolutely. I hope that in the next game the boss fights are like you mentioned, like a little more just different, better.
Yeah, just at the very least, I don't know.
I want each boss fight to be more unique than the next.
Yes.
Than the last, I mean. You know what I mean?
And that is something that is done very, very well in specifically Arkham City. Like, that game is really, really good at giving you boss fights that are, like, uniquely different and mechanically...
Wait.
Uh,
Wait.
Don't
What
even
is?
do it.
What's the Arkham City?
There it is.
What is that?
oh, Jesus.
Is that a city in New York? No. New
He's
York
right
is a
though.
city.
I mean,
New
the
York
boss
is a
battles
city.
in that game are.
I've seen them. I watched. I haven't seen all of them.
What are you doing?
I watched my brother play.
Oh,
But the
you've
Ro-
seen the whole thing.
No, I did not see the whole thing. I saw the Ra's al Ghul fight.
Oh, that was a cool
Come
fight.
on.
One that stands out to me in that game was the Mr. Freeze fight.
Yes, that's always the one I think of when I think of the boss fights in that game,
Saw
because
that.
it's so different from all the other boss fights, and it's so cool because of that. You know? And that's more what I want from this game. Not necessarily I want a boss fight like the Mr. Freeze fight, but in a sequel to Spider-Man, I want more boss fights that are mechanically... They restrain you, or they funnel you, or add new things that you can do in a way that like makes it a unique kind of experience that is specific to the villain that you're facing off against. That is specifically what I want in a Spider-Man sequel. Yes.
I get that. I just want to go on record and say that Matt has been trying to get me to play Kingdom Hearts for a very long time. And I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and the next one, whatever the fuck that one was called. I went through these games and took a lot of time and money to play these games, and I've been trying to get him to play Arkham for a long time. It doesn't feel like it's been reciprocated,
but
in any aspect.
But
yeah,
you wanted to play Kingdom Hearts, right?
Do you not want to play Arkham?
When they came out with one set, we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, we'll get there.
When they released the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 and the gameplay, you were like, that game looks pretty dope. I'll play the other ones because I want to play Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. I haven't seen a game past Arkham Knight. Is there an Arkham Knight?
There's been 3 of them. And
it makes plenty of sense, okay? Plenty of sense.
Okay. But you saw those games gameplay back in the day. Okay.
It's a game that me and obviously Doug know that you would absolutely love.
I just don't know if I would because I just don't like shitty games.
Oh my god!
I mean, okay, Matt. Okay. Let me put it to you this way. I have an analogy here.
Okay.
It's like, okay, all right. Just pay real close attention here. It's almost like if you don't play these games, you're a bad friend and a bad person.
You know, I'm kind of willing to be that. Until, I play them, which I don't think will ever happen. I'm joking.
Oh, Jesus.
I want to let people know I like Batman.
Apparently not.
No, I like Batman. And I feel like if I played them, I would enjoy them. Just as I like Resident Evil, but I won't play them because I'm so scared.
Are you scared to play Batman?
Yeah.
You're scary?
Scarecrow.
You're scared of the Scarecrow missions?
No, it's not even scary. It's the Poison Ivy. Because
she's too sexy.
She's exactly. You're right.
It's intimidating.
It's intimidating.
It's sexually intimidating.
When I play the game, I'm like, man, I want to talk to her, but I can't because it's a video game. I will. I mean, I know. I think I'm pretty sure I will play them at some point. I just don't know when. But I will try my best. Birthday presents are good. I like how the
last 20 to 30 minutes of this show turned into the guilt trip for Matt on Arkham City.
You said that, and now I'm going to do it. And now that's going to be your gift. I'm going to get you for your birthday. I'm going to get you these Arkham games, and if you don't play them, I'm going to be super insulted.
Of course, if you were to buy them for me, I would absolutely play.
Okay, great.
Even if I genuinely thought they were the worst games ever, which I know I won't.
No, I'll buy them for you.
I will.
Because
I'll play them.
They're super cheap.
That's right.
I want to hear on the Mashing Buttons podcast in 1 month, Matt come on and be like, so I'm playing Arkham Asylum. It is maybe the worst game I've ever played, but I love you, and I'm going to play these.
Too.
No, but that's the thing. If you like Spider-Man, that's what Arkham is.
Yes.
It's not.
Yes.
It's the exact same game, but you're Batman. I swear to God, I'm not. It's not like.
And Spider-Man didn't do really good, though, did it?
It did really good for Spider-Man.
Copied another game,
but Rocksteady does really good for Batman. So you have to just gotta trust it, man.
You're hurting my feelings.
No, it hurts my feelings.
Because I love Spider-Man.
No, enough.
My feelings are very hurt right now by all of this.
I need you to play these games. I need it.
I gotta finish Final Fantasy X.
No, you don't. You've played it 1,000,000 times.
And I gotta play Final Fantasy 15.
Holy shit.
And I gotta play Kingdom Hearts before the new one comes out.
Oh my god!
I gotta play Dragon Quest 11.
You don't need to play Dragon Quest.
I really want to play.
You
Dragon
don't need
Quest.
to though.
What do you mean?
I don't know about this.
I want to, Doug. Dragon Quest, okay? Jeez.
Okay. God! All right.
That
Doug,
seems like about it.
Tell us how to find your.
How do you find? I don't even know how to find Doug's podcast.
I don't know, man.
Doug, tell us how to find it.
You come up to Minnesota and you come into a crowded public space, Walk around in the Skyway and scream "Comics Covered" and you'll find me.
I like that.
You can find Comics Covered on Twitter or Facebook. Our page is Comics Covered, at Comics Covered on Twitter, or facebook.com/Comics Covered. Comics Covered, comicscovered.libsyn.com for archives of all our episodes. We'll have another regular episode coming out on Sunday, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. Yeah, we talk about comic books and comics related things, the movies and TV and all that. So
cool.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, what about you guys?
Yeah, how do we find us, Matt?
Let me let drunk Matt sort of like formulate himself, get into the mode. You can find us at Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Instagram and Facebook are Mashing Buttons Podcast. Twitter is mashing_buttons.
That was
Podcast?
a twist at the end there.
Is that
Wait.
right?
Yeah, it was a Shyamalan twist.
Was that right?
Yes. I think. Mashing Buttons _podcast.
I said that wrong. Yeah. Mashing Buttons _podcast on Twitter.
Okay.
Everything else, Facebook, Instagram, Mashing Buttons Podcast. Like us. And this is this is also...
You are on Twitter as at mashing_buttons.
No.
Yes.
Mashing Button. Are you serious?
I'm on Twitter right now. I looked you up.
We're what? On Twitter?
What are we?
You're at mashing_buttons.
That's it?
Mashing
There's no podcast?
Buttons.
No.
Dude, have we been saying that wrong for like 15 episodes?
You're the social media.
Shut up.
What do you mean, shut up? I've been editing all these.
I know. But if I had a proper
right.
computer, I could edit it.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry. Anyways, thank you, Doug. It's mashing.
I felt I had a duty to contribute.
I very much appreciate it. Twitter is at mashing_buttons. For both Mashing Buttons and Comics Covered, please like, listen, subscribe, rate, and review. Tell your friends, tell your families. We're just two nerdy podcasts just trying to have fun and get by.
Trying to have fun. Doug, if you have a comic book that you just want to make sure it's in pristine condition, what do you do?
What?
Don't worry about it. You cover it. Comics Covered. Matt,
I cover it up. Okay.
Matt, if you're playing Mashing Button, or if you're... Fuck.
What?
I'm so drunk. If you're playing Spider-Man, what do you do? If you're in the middle of a fight and you don't know how to get out of it, what do you do?
I just smash buttons.
He just mashes buttons.
The buttons.
I feel like Matt was way more set up for that prompt than I was.
Doug, don't worry about it. Comics Covered, Mashing Buttons. Listen to them both.
And
there it is.
I love you.
I love you all.
Thanks. Bye.